Well, platen removal couldn't be simpler on this Mercedes Superba. I tried to do some research, but I thought I'm just going to have a go and see what happens if I take the platen knobs off at the end. So I started off taking the right hand platen knob off. There's 2 screws there. The shorter one is for the main platen knob here, and the longer one goes into the actual roller on this side. And then I just double checked everything by looking at the mechanism on this side and on the left hand side. And all these other parts here are fixed to the machine, to the frame here. So I was relatively confident that if I by undoing these ones, I tapped it very, very gently with the end of a screwdriver just to see if it would move. And sure enough, the platen knob on this side just simply pulls out. I mean, here it is, and it's a little bit stiff. I think that won't focus. Yeah, I've just wiped it down with a cloth. It was a little bit mucky, but it literally came out in one piece. And lifting the platen, here we go, was simple. I literally just lifted it off, and it's rock hard, this platen. And I don't know in time if I will consider getting that, getting a new one, but it could not have been simpler to take it off and put it back on. And as a result of that, I've been able to access the area that I wanted to, which was the feed rollers. And as I suspected, much like the paper bale ones, they are slightly flattened on one side. I mean, they have been feeding paper through, and I want to try and access them. I really would like to take them out, and if I gently rubbed it or sanded it, I think I could get them a little bit rounder. That one's really flat looking, look at that. But they have been working, so I think cleaning them up, a bit of French spiritus on them, I might be able to get them to roll a little bit better. But I haven't worked out yet how to lift this part up or to get them out, so that's the next part of my puzzle. And the other thing is, it's going to really help to let me clean underneath there, because I can already see there's some accumulated dirt and dust in that mechanism behind there, so I'd love to get that cleaned out. So again, I'll keep you posted as I go along. So after much deliberation, I thought I would have to knock some pins out of the side of this casing, but then I tried a couple of taps and it's clear it wasn't going to move. But if you can see, I've got one set of rollers out, the front rollers, which, as we said before, there's flat parts on it. I'm going to try and sand that down a little bit because I don't have any rubber to replace them. Otherwise I really would try and focus. I really would try and have a go at that. But until the lockdown finishes and I can try and get some rubber, I'm going to have to just take the edge off those. Oh, it's not focusing. Take the edge off those rollers. I think it'll work a little bit better, and clean them up. And to get it out, I noticed this bit springs forward here, this plate, and I released with the lever the paper table, so there was a kind of springiness and a downward motion, and between, once you release that paper table, the rollers down here loosen on their housing, and after a little bit of manoeuvring it just pops out. So next thing I've got to work out is how to get access to the rear rollers now. But good, I'm on my way. So that's where we are at the moment. There we go, that was quick. Just a bit of brute force, or gentle brute force, and just lifted that up, and there, access to the rear rollers. And now I can clean all that section there, which I'm really pleased about as well. So let's see how well these rollers clean up now, shall we? So here we are at the moment. I've been trying to get it to focus, gently sanding these rollers down. You can see how flat they are. Just trying to take, you know, the hard edge off that a little bit. It's working to some extent, and what I've done is I've put some shrink hose on them that I happen to have at home as an experiment. I can feel it's grippy, and it's certainly smoother than having that hard edge. I wish I could have, really get it more rounder. Probably could if I could fit that on some kind of spindle and spin it. I might be able to sand it a bit more. But I'll see how it goes on this set of rollers. I might try a bit better on the second set, but it's getting there, and it is grippy. I've tried it on rubbing it on some paper, so it might work. So let's see how that progresses. So here we have it, 2 sets of rollers, each with some shrink hose that I've put on them. The second roller is actually much better. It's not as flat as that one. So I'm going to be really curious to see if this works. If it does, you never know, one day I might... This was the shrink hose I used, by the way. I'm not sure the diameter at the moment. But if it does one day, maybe I will go the whole hog and get these properly replaced, send them off to America to JJ Shorts and get them to put new ones on. But I'm quite pleased with how that's turned out, and I've been rolling them on the floor. They don't come to a stop, they do roll, so I'm going to give it a go and reinstall it back in now and hope it works nicely.